Sound fam! So, I was thinking recently about all the things that gaming has given us. You know, the graphics, the social media interaction, the conversation, the mad technology, the ray tracing, and all the wonderful things that gaming has given us. But then, as is often my one, I like to think about the other side of the coin. About the stuff that gaming has taken away. And it got me to thinking there are a couple of things that I do miss. And I would love, obviously, for you to comment below, or better yet, if you're a fellow content creator, make a video response to this. Where basically, tell me the things that you miss in gaming, one or two, and here's mine. Right, so most of this is basically PS3. In fact, all of this is PS3 right now. I've obviously got more in my head, but I don't want to go on and on and on. Back at the PS3, we had video conferencing, and it was actually quite good. It was fairly fun, and the camera we had was not as good as the camera I've got up there now for my PS5, but it was there, it was good, it was functional, and it started a lot of stuff, and it was just a fun thing. There was a couple of people I used to talk to in Australia, and you could have conversations with randoms, and admittedly they were outside of the game, but you could just kick back and have a blather with someone. And it was actually just really nice. It was all community, and it was just like, wow, look at what we could do. And now we can walk the streets and like go shopping and have like video calls with people, and we could even turn to the front facing camera and go like, hey babe, there's this thing, and this thing here. I know you said you wanted this flavour, but this one isn't here, but look at these on the shelf. Which one of these do you fancy instead? And your wife could sit there, or your husband could sit there, or whatever, and go, yeah, that yin. Or you can have just a straight up conversation with a person. I've even had interviews for jobs through video conferencing. I mean, we can do it on our phones, but yet we don't do it on our consoles anymore. Now, yes. Nintendo Switch 2, you can't do that thing. You have a floor screen split, and like you could be doing Mario Kart, and you can have your pals in each of the corners of each of the 4 split screen bits. But let's face it, that Nintendo camera is not so hot, and that Nintendo bitrate, oh no, that's terrible, absolutely terrible. But it would be just a nice thing to have back again, if like you could be in the bottom corner or the top corner, whatever, and like do like screen sharing on like shareable games, or even just like whatever games really. I mean, online ones or the rest of it. You could be there in the corner. You don't even have to see yourself. You could see like the other like 3 of the corners, like down here, up here and here, could be like 3 of your pals, and then obviously here would be like, you know, like your map and all that gubbins, like your ammo count and blah 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 blah. That could be kind of fun. That could be kind of interesting. I mean, well, obviously that's a lot of screen real estate to take up, so that's obviously going to be a personal choice. But I think having video conferencing in gaming is something that would be nice to have back. But that's just me. The other thing I miss is when you could put a CD into a games console, especially the PS3, and you could either take individual songs or even entire albums and save them on the hard drive. And then you could take these songs, turn them into a playlist, and then have that playlist in your game. Like you could be there with, especially I used to love this with Burnout Paradise City on PS3. And it'd be just great, you know, driving around Paradise, with my songs instead of the songs from the game, which I liked maybe about a sixth of that playlist. You know, a lot of the songs on the radio station I clicked the add it off, so then those songs wouldn't appear, and there was a small amount of songs that I would let play. And then when I found that I could do that, then all those songs were turned off, and only my songs came on. Now I know what you're thinking, you're going, but Zen mate, we got Spotify and all the rest of it. You could have Spotify on your PlayStation and make a playlist for that, a gaming playlist, and that'll come through. Yeah, you can, true, but unless you pay for Spotify Premium, one, the songs are going to play out of order, which admittedly doesn't matter to everybody, but matters to some of us. And two, you're going to get ads. Ads can get to France. No ads in my game, thank you very much. And I imagine it's also the case that you don't want ads in your game neither. So it would be quite nice to be able to plonk in CDs, or even have an ability to like just have songs that you could pick and put in that would be there in the memory, so you wouldn't have to worry about the internet going down. Not to mention, if you're having games streaming to, if you're having music, if I could learn to speak, music streaming to your system, but then you're like streaming a game as well, or streaming the game out to an audience, that's a lot of bandwidth. That's a lot of grunt to ask of your internet provider. I don't know if that's entirely what you want, but it would be nice to have that ability to customize the music for your games, so then you actually hear stuff you actually like hearing. Because as a metalhead, for me, a lot of the music in a lot of games is absolutely gash. Seriously, it's just like, no, I don't want this. And you might feel the same. In fact, if anything, let's take this a step beyond. Let's bring this back and extend it forward, where we've got stuff like Grand Theft Auto 6 is still yet to come. How cool would it be if there was a radio station that you could pick that picked a playlist that you made in sort of like a special Spotify account where there was no adverts, but you weren't paying for it. But it was obviously it'd be like data tracks and block, stuff, because they'd have to get some way of making their money and some way of getting their analytics. There would have to obviously be some sort of kickback for Spotify to do this. If they're on Grand Theft Auto 6 with the adverts, maybe if they say, we're the official playlist engine of Grand Theft Auto 6, something like that, throw them a bone. And you could have your playlist without adverts on your radio, in your car or whatever, and with a little bit of AI integration, which I know feels icky, but stick with me on this. If that little bit of AI integration could understand what the songs were called and who they were by, and then the announcer of the radio station could tell you. Now, before the track, after the track, who knows? And I think that would bring the game a bit more to life, because it would have a radio station that you're the DJ, you're the station programmer. How do you like them apples? I definitely do. I think that would be actually a really nice level of customization. I mean, we could already do the hair and the clothing and the cars of our characters in Grand Theft Auto games. If we could also select the music we listen to in that world, oh baby, that would be special. But like I said, obviously, I want to know what you guys miss in video games and what you would dearly like to have back. Obviously, we don't want to do all the all the sort of stuff that everybody knows already. I want my games to be free of adverts, free of DLC. We all know that. Come back with me, with stuff that nobody talks about, or very few people talk about. I mean, I'm talking about things that nobody else talks about. So I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Hashtag support Scottish YouTubers. And of course, as always, nae bother.